New day, new series. Phillies open up a 4-game homestand against the Washington Nationals. It is going to be a bloodbath. Tyler Mroz, Heat Ratio Sports here for the Phillies pregame show. And like I said, Phillies opening up a 4-game series against the Washington Nationals. Kyle Schwarber, Trea Turner, and Bryce Harper's former team. Of course, Trea Turner, I think, was drafted by the Padres, but most notably played for the Nationals. Bryce Harper won an MVP with Washington, and Kyle Schwarber had that phenomenal half of a season with the Nationals, was traded to the Boston Red Sox at the trade deadline. But nonetheless, now a 4-game series against the Nationals. Nationals are about 11 games under 500, but we'll get to what I think about that in a little bit. Mitchell Parker, he's 6-6 with a 3.83 ERA. He's taking on Zach Wheeler. It's 11-5 this year with a 2.77 ERA. Got David checking in. What's going on? How you doing? What are the Angels doing? Are they playing tonight? They have the night off. John, I know you're looking forward to this. Trust me, you'll get your money's worth at the end. Got Adam checking in too. What's up, man? How you doing? What do you think about the game tonight? You think they're gonna win? Think they're gonna? Are the Nationals gonna somehow beat them, just like the Marlins beat them the other night? They're gonna come out swinging. You gotta let me know what you think. I'll definitely be sharing everyone's thoughts. Phillies, no Trea Turner last night, but he's starting today at short, back up in the 2 spot. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Nick Castellanos was 1 for 4 last night, had a walk as well, so he got on base twice. So I'm not sure how I feel about directly putting Trea Turner back into the 2-hole. Weston Wilson playing left field, batting 8th tonight. No Brandon Marsh, who had one of his better games since June last night. He was 2 for 4. Definitely looked really better, but lefty on the mound tonight. So Rob Thompson opts to go with Weston Wilson, who's batting 7 for 15 this season against lefties. Angels lost again yesterday, man. Around Washington couldn't get that team going. Nationals will win tonight. Ooh, I don't know. It's Thursday night. It's Throwback Thursday. I got my Wheeler jersey on. Vibes are maybe just too high, but this whole team is about vibes. Sometimes the vibes don't always go their way. Adam, we got this game. Wheeler's pitching. He will bounce back. I agree. You'll see where I'm going with this, but I definitely agree with that. This is Mitchell Parker's first career start against the Phillies. He's given up no earned runs in each of his last 2 starts. Has had a pretty solid rookie year. I mean, a rookie pitcher having a 3.83 ERA, that's pretty good for what you want for a rookie, especially on a team that's not really the greatest team, but they're still a decent team. But overall, Mitchell Parker, a pretty solid rookie season so far. Gonna get to the keys of the game. You may be thinking, like, Tyler, it's the Nationals. They're nothing. It's fine. Don't underestimate them. That is the worst thing you could do. That's what a lot of people were thinking in the first game against the Marlins a couple days ago. And guess what? Phillies got 5 total base runners, and they lost 5-0. So if it can happen against the Nationals, if it can happen against the Mariners, getting my M teams mixed up. If it can happen against the Marlins, what's to say it can't happen against the Nationals? They're not a bad team. They're top 15 in average and on base. They're 15th in average, a 244 team average. They're 13th in on base percentage, a 312 on base percentage as a team. So definitely not a team you want to overlook, especially with a young rookie who has never faced the Phillies. You don't know how these guys are going to do against Parker. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Next key is wheels up. Wheeler has not had the best couple outings against the Nationals. 3-1, 6.21 ERA. 6.21. Zach Wheeler. Yes, Zach Wheeler, runner-up for Cy Young a couple years ago. One of the best pitchers in the National, maybe the best pitcher in the National League. One of the best in the entire league. So 3.61 ERA. I'm sorry, 6.21 ERA against the Nationals. 32 hits, 26 strikeouts, and 29 innings pitched. It's giving up over a hit a game. But he did have a pretty good game earlier against the Nationals this year. 7 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, and the win. So a good start to the year so far. Hopefully, Wheeler can keep it going, but he needs to be, like I said, every game he needs to be on his A game. Not especially tonight, but he needs to have a solid outing in order for the Phillies to win. And you gotta out hit this team. I talked about how pretty solid this Nationals team is. When they out hit opponents, they are 40-8. 40-8 out of their 55 wins. 40 of them are when they out hit the opponent. that's an insane stat. That's almost a 30 game. That's over a 30 game differential. That's crazy. Like I read this stat. I was like, there's no way this is right. And I was going back, I was looking at all their games. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a real stat, which is pretty remarkable. So definitely want to make sure you got to out hit this team. It's crucial. Alec Boehm, 31. He's at 31 now. Can you see if we can get 32? Over a month. Got the lefty, favorable matchup with him being a righty. So we shall see if tonight is number 32. So let's see what we got cooking for the HRS Triple play of the day. And use your code HEAT. You get 50% off your best bets at Win Daily. I lied last night, actually. We only went 1 for 3. I thought Johan Rojas got a double, but I guess I looked away at the wrong time. He was on second base. Apparently, it was counted as a single, and he got stretched out to second base. Whatever. MLB scores. Whatever. Still went 1 for 3, though. That's pretty good in my books. So tonight, here's what we got cooking. Zach Wheeler, over 6.5 Ks at -115. The only one that is on FanDuel. Yeah. The only one that's on FanDuel is the Nick Castellanos hits, runs, plus RBIs at +115. And then Phillies at +1.5 is at -125. So Wheeler and the Phillies +1.5. Those ones are on DraftKings, and then Nick Castellanos, that one is on FanDuel. So we've been hitting every day so far, at least one. Thought we hit 2 last night, but I guess it is what it is. It's whatever. But we're going to hit some more tonight. Hopefully we hit all of these. Hopefully we hit the bonus bet too. Not the Phillies. It's the Birds. It's a preseason game. Yada, yada. Let's have fun with it. We got to show support to the Birds. Over 17.5 points at +135. They scored, I believe it was 16 points against the Ravens last week, but it was rainy and they were just starting to figure it out. Patriots only gave up 3 points last week to the Carolina Panthers, but it's also the Carolina Panthers. Their backups are not as good as the Eagles' backups. So I'm projecting over 17.5 points at +135. So Zach Wheeler over 6.5 strikeouts. Nick Castellanos, HRR, +115. And then Phillies +1.5 at -125. And then the Birds, over 17.5 points at +135. Yeah, no home run bets tonight. Weren't really good odds. I mean, the last time I checked, I think Weston Wilson, I was going to do that because I thought it would be like +400 or 500. It was like low 300. So I think they're projecting a lot of home runs from the Phillies tonight. So maybe it's Vegas always knows something that we don't. So if the Phillies hit a lot of home runs, you heard it here first because Vegas may have rigged it. Okay. Now a series I love to do on here during the first game of a brand new series, especially because it's Throwback Thursday. Historic moments against the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. I mentioned yesterday, best moment of my life. We'll get to that in a little bit. But 2009, Ryan Howard hits a grand slam to bring the Phillies back. They were down 6-2. Then Ryan Howard hits a grand slam. Nationals took the lead back. It's 11-9 in the 8th inning. And then Raul Ibanez. Man, remember him? Remember he was in consideration for the manager spot? I feel like I heard his name thrown around a lot back in 2021. But Raul Ibanez hit the second grand slam of the night for the Phillies. They ended up winning that game 13-11. That's definitely a really, really good 2 grand slams in one night. Hopefully the Phillies can recreate. Now I'm thinking about it, a lot of these are grand slams. Jason Worth hit a walk-off 2-run home run in 2010 against the Nationals. the team he would eventually leave the Phillies for. But he helped us out a little bit before then. Phillies got their 89th win of the season that game. The Vanimal. Vance Worley got the win in that game. Vanimal. 425 feet to center field. Jason Worth. And then 2021, the Brad Miller effect. I've been waiting to tell this story on here, but now it's Throwback Thursday against the Nationals at home. I feel like this is an appropriate time to tell this story finally. So, in MLB The Show, I had a Brad Miller card. He was my best hitter. So, I always told my friend Andrew that he's your daddy. It's Daddy Brad. So, we made a sign with Brad Miller's face on it that said Daddy Brad. And we would take it to some games. We'd talk to him. This game in particular, it was a doubleheader in late July of 2021. Brad Miller starts the first game at first base. We're in right field. We're like, oh, man, that sucks. We're not going to get to talk to him. This is actually the final game that Max Scherzer and Trea Turner played as Nationals. So that's a pretty cool thing to bring up during this story too. But game one ends. Zach Wheeler pitches, gives up 1 run. Phillies lose 1-0 game 1. That's done. We have the sign. We're like, oh, man, Brad's probably not going to play in game 2, right? Does not play. He's not in the starting lineup. So we're pretty bummed. We're in right field. We're like, that would stink. Very cloudy day. It looked like it was going to rain soon. We didn't want to get the sign wet. So we were debating potentially leaving the game. Phillies are losing 7-0 in about the second or third inning. And rain starts trickling down. Shout out to my friend. I believe it was Jake. He was very much adamant that we left and didn't get the sign wet. But we were hiding under the tarp. There was nobody at this game, so we get to move up to the front row. Nobody really cared. So Bryce Harper's due up. We're telling people about the sign because people are asking about it. Bryce Harper, who's playing right field that game, was supposed to be on deck. And who comes on deck? But it's Brad Miller. And we're like, wait, is that Brad? Bryce is supposed to be up at. So we're going on Twitter. We're checking. Bryce Harper, I think it was a hammy injury. So we're like, wait, this is like the 5th inning. And he's in right field. So that means he's coming out this way. He's going to be out right field. So Brad Miller plays right field for the rest of the game. He threw me a ball. We're talking to him the whole time. And this is the weird COVID season where the doubleheaders, it was 7 innings was doubleheaders for some reason. It was weird. So it's the end of the top of the 8th. Nationals, Ryan Zimmerman hits a single. They're up 1. And we final out. We yell at Brad, you got to hit one over. You got to hit one to us, Brad. You got to hit a home run. He turns back. As you run away, he goes, hitting it right over your heads, boys. Thumbs up. And what happens? This is what happens.
It's a wild pitch.
And a high fly ball to deep right field. Forget about it! It's a grand slam walk-off home run.
I got your wild pitch. Woo!
I had a video on my phone. I didn't get it up here on time, but I was recording it for like his whole at bat. I was like, just in case I can get this on camera. There's no way. And I did, but it cut out because we were going crazy. We had the sign going up and down. We were hit it pretty much right over our heads, a little bit to our right. So after him saying he was going to hit it right over our heads, he did pretty much. And walk-off grand slam, one of the best days of my life, one of the best moments of my life. John, yeah, Jake did always want to leave early. If we were playing the Cubs at all, there's another time we went to a game. It was 7-0 Cubs in the 3rd inning. Our friend Jake, John's brother, wanted to leave the game early. We said no. That inning, the Phillies scored 7 runs, tied it, and they ended up winning 13-7. So, yeah, the Brad Miller game, one of the Brad Miller games. When we get to the Mets one, we'll talk about another good one he had. Definitely one of the best moments of my life. Awesome story from yeah. I love telling that story. It's one of the I can't stress it enough. It's one of the best moments of my life. I still have the sign. It's 3 years old. It's a little wrinkly. We got his autograph, but yeah, one of the best moments of my life for sure. Let's get back to current day Phillies. We got a Spencer Turnbull update from Rob Thompson. He had his lat injury. He took a step back. They asked him if he expects Turnbull to return at all in the season. And all Thompson said was, I hope so. That's not a pretty positive sign if you're Spencer Turnbull. So looking like if he comes back, it's going to be sometime in September. Could be back by the playoffs. We don't have an updated timetable, but all Rob Thompson said was, I hope he can come back for the end of the season. Also confirmed he would be going to the bullpen. So does that leave Tyler Phillips or Jose Ruiz out? I don't know. They have, or Max Lazar, they have plenty of time to decide that. It does not sound like Spencer Turnbull is coming back anytime soon. Another thing that randomly came up in the news today, the MLB is considering having a mandatory 6 innings for starting pitchers. But I think it's like barring injury or a horrible performance, but there's a 0% chance that this even gets remotely close to happening. The players union would never, ever, never, ever, I can't stress this enough, never, ever let this happen. They just filed a lawsuit against the Pirates and Sheets because they used 3 different players for their Sheets sleeve. They used them for the promotional. And they sued it because they didn't have a licensing agreement. So if they're doing it over using 3 players for a marketing campaign, then they're not going to let pitchers pitch at least 6 innings. I mean, especially if this was 10 years ago, I could see it being a thing. But nowadays, where pitchers are going 5 to 6 innings, you rarely see people go to the 7th inning now. So I don't think this is even going to be remotely close to happening. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this is something that could actually go through, or is it going to be dead in the water soon? Adam, that's as stupid as having the ghost runner in extra innings. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of the ghost runner thing. I get their idea of it, of wanting the games to go faster. That's what they did with the pitch clock. That's what they did with the ghost runner rule. But I just don't see how MLB wants to make the gameplay quicker, because that's been the biggest complaint of baseball is that, excuse me. Had a lot of IHOP pancakes today. Shout out to IHOP. $5 all you can eat pancakes. I had 7. I was tapped out at their 7. So IHOP, really good pancakes. Huge. Don't know how I ate 7. But yeah, the Ghost Runner, they want to speed up the game. I just don't see how that's going to speed up the game at all. The 6 innings, pitchers go 5 innings now. Realistically, you saw Ranger Suarez. He was a guy that went 5-6 innings. And this year he was pitching 7 innings in a lot of games, and he got hurt. So I definitely think it's a safety concern for the pitchers that the players union will instantly shut down. John said, baseball isn't meant to be a quick game, in my opinion. I enjoy sitting there for 4 hours watching the game. And I feel like you're not in the minority there. I feel like a lot of people would agree with that. They would consider the old timers, but I see why the MLB does it. It's just better for fan experience, because nobody wants to sit in a stadium. They want to make the in-stadium experience better for the fans. If you're sitting there just waiting, and then it takes 50 seconds in between pitches, and you're just sitting there. But now it's like fast pitch. Okay. And the crowd's more into it. So I'm on the same boat with you kind of, but I do think that it's good to make it faster than 4 hours, because I remember I went to a game in 2018. I went in the bottom of the first. I went to PJ Wellingham's to get food. I came back, and a half hour later, and there was only 1 out in the inning. So I definitely think that baseball, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, that's good enough. 4, I think that's way too long, just in my opinion. We also like to keep track of the division. Mets lost to the Athletics 7-6 today. Frank the Tank is probably not too happy. I can't wait to see what he's going to post. I hope he posted. That's the first thing I'm going to see when I get off this stream. I hope. It just makes my day. It's what me and my dad always said to each other. Frank the Tank going, bites his glasses, bites the, I don't know what he has now. He used to have a necklace, but Yeah, Mets, they've lost 5 of 6. They've been on a cold streak. Got swept by the Mariners and just lost a series at home to the Athletics. So showing. I lost my train of thought there. Showing shades of the Phillies when they did it earlier this year. The Braves currently on a 3-game win streak. They were losing 2-0 last time I checked. Let's see what they're doing now. Yeah, Braves, they are no longer going to be on a 3-game winning streak. They're down 6-0, top of the 8th. Yeah, so I mentioned yesterday about how Michael Harris coming back was huge for the Braves. His first at bat back, he hit a grand slam. So Michael Harris, big addition back to the Braves. They won the series against the San Fran Giants, 3-1. 1-game losing streak now. I don't recall who they're playing this weekend. I know the Mets play the Marlins and the Braves play. They're at the Angels. So, David, you're still watching. You get the Braves this weekend, unfortunately. Need you guys to win. Need you guys to sweep. Bring out the brooms. I will send you a broom from the Philadelphia area just so you can sweep the Braves. As always, post-game live, 10 minutes here after the final out. Go back over the triple play of the day. Zach Wheeler over 6.5 strikeouts. Nick Castellanos, HRR, plus 115. I think it's 2+ runs. I think I might have screwed that one up. 2+ runs. 2+? Yeah, 2 of those. 2 hits plus runs plus RBIs. 2 if you get 2+ combined, bada bang. And then Phillies plus 1.5. And then for all you Birds fans, Eagles over 17.5 points plus 135. They are playing at Gillette Stadium against the Patriots. I don't think they're playing any former Eagles. Jalen Mills was on the Giants. He just got released, so maybe the Eagles will bring him back. So I don't know. We'll see how those games go. Hopefully, both teams can win. Obviously, Eagles are in preseason. Rather have the Phillies win. So go Phillies, go Birds. As always, pregame live 10 minutes after the final out. I will be here. Hopefully, we can talk about a Phillies win. So thank you all so much for watching this. I really appreciate all of you watching and commenting. Comments are awesome. I love being able to react to them, being able to interact with all of you. So thank you all for tuning in to the Heat Ratio Sports Phillies post-games later. This is pregame. Hopefully, we can talk about a Phillies win in the postgame. So enjoy the game. Don't get stressed out too much. And yeah, have a good one, everyone. See you later. Stay fresh. That's glitching. See you, everyone.